In decade-long beef news submitted by Niall Style, Nick Cannon released a diss track against Eminem.
Oh no, Nick Cannon!
Yeah,
I heard about this. They're going back and forth, but I don't know too much about it.
Oh, are you serious?
Wait, actually, Nick Cannon's not with Mariah anymore, right?
no.
They're divorced.
What's the beef about?
I think Nick Cannon was ever a rapper, right?
No, he was. Nick Cannon was definitely a rapper.
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
well.
Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, he raps on the Wild 'N Out, but he had maybe 2 albums.
I don't connect
like
him
Will
with that.
Smith, like that kind of rap, not like, you know, not Eminem. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Eminem said something about. Oh, were you gonna read it? Because I don't want to spoil it if you're gonna read it. I'll just shut up.
Well, for starters, I would like to mention I'm so sad Nikki is not here, but she's in the Bahamas because she would fucking love this story. Anyway, so the beef starts back in May 2009. Eminem disses 10-year beef. Yeah. So he disses Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey on his Bagpipes from Baghdad song. And that's where he says this line that says, Nick Cannon, you prick, I wish you luck with the fucking whore. Every minute there's a sucker born, snuck up on Malachi, made the motherfucker suck on his... you guys can listen to it. I'm butchering it. Anyway, so...
That was a really close Eminem.
I know,
If you really use your imagination, you kind of hear it.
I didn't even try, because I didn't even want to disrespect Eminem like that. So anyway, so then in June 2009, Mariah drops Obsessed. You guys remember that song?
Yeah.
Why you so obsessed with me? See, that one I could try.
The Eminem one was better.
Okay, anyway.
That one sounded more like it.
So that song, and then in the video, it's like Mariah's portrayed as like an Eminem lookalike. And so in July 2009, Eminem responds with The Warning, which is like a retaliation to Obsessed. And then in September 2010, Nick Cannon drops Eminem's diss track, I'm a Slick Rick. And
Be honest with you, I missed that one completely.
I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't know that
I didn't
one.
know either, and then I listened to it because of this story, and I'm like, this is fucking whack. No wonder no one ever heard about it. So then,
I didn't even know there was beef going on.
Yes.
I remember when Obsessed came out, and everyone was like, oh, you know, it's about Eminem, it's about Eminem.
Oh,
I was
really?
like,
I knew about the Mariah thing. That's why I was like, I thought that's what the Nick slipping was. But I was like, but you're not with Mariah anymore, so what's your issue?
oh yeah, by the way, to make it more clear in case you don't know as to why they have a beef is because Eminem is claiming that he was in a sort of relationship with Mariah for 6 months, but then in one of his diss tracks, he does mention that she only let him fuck once, and he actually prematurely ejaculated.
He's a great at like self-deprecating humor. He's the best at that.
So he's like, you can't make fun of me if I make fun of myself first.
Yeah.
You really can.
So, but then he does say that, right? And so
Eminem's awesome.
That's so funny.
when he came out with Bagpipes from Baghdad, they had just, Mariah and Nick had just gotten married. So they were newlyweds when that song came out. So Eminem is kind of viewed as like, oh, he was salty. He still had a thing for her, sorta. So that's why he's dissing their marriage. And then that's when Mariah came out with Obsessed. I should have told the story that way. Sorry, I skipped all that important shit. Anyway, so then January 2016, Nick invites Eminem on Wild 'N Out. He ends up tweeting, everybody knows I would love Eminem to be on Wild 'N Out. Y'all go convince Marshall.
That didn't seem sincere though.
Yeah, because a real invite is you just text them personally. Right.
All I have is you have your team reach out.
Yeah, you don't need to make it all public.
I can't even picture Eminem on Wild 'N Out though.
Yeah.
It's kind of childish.
It's a different level.
Yeah.
But it still would be dope. It's like when you saw Eminem at 8 Mile, you didn't know what to expect, but he was fucking phenomenal on there, right? And Eminem seems like a funny guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he would, like, I think he would just, it would be such like child's play for him to be even there.
Yeah. But it still would be dope to see him in that
It would
element.
become a concert.
Yeah.
An Eminem concert.
Yeah. So then in June of that same year in 2016, Nick Cannon ends up saying on this radio show in the UK that he's ready to battle Eminem in the ring.
Like as a
Boxing?
like a fight?
Yeah, like a fight. So he was saying something about like $100,000. He wanted to fight him, but Eminem never addressed that.
Eminem's like, I'm tired now, bro.
Or also, I think that's where Nick will have him is in the boxing
Yeah.
match. She's got reach, man.
So that's what Nick said too. He was like, I know I can't out rap you, but I could kick your ass.
Right.
So
That's some typical macho shit though. It's like, all right, but I bet I beat your ass though. Like, it was like, fam, we was just rapping.
Yeah, like why did it
How do we
escalate?
go from rapping until you giving me a concussion?
Or when you playing ball or something.
Yeah.
So then, September of this year, 2019, Nick Cannon opens up about his Eminem beef on T.I.'s podcast.
Oh god.
He ends up saying, it's like a 5-minute clip, and he ends up saying that Nick Cannon wrote a long-ass letter pretty much saying, quote, I respect you as an artist. I'm actually a fan. I think you're one of the best to ever do it, but from man to man, you're talking out of pocket to my wife. You've got to be held accountable for that, so I need to see you face to face. So then he was
He's still mad.
So then he was saying that he was just explaining the beef back then about like listen, you disrespected my wife. That's not okay.
But it's not even your wife anymore.
I think this was an old letter.
At the time.
Yeah,
back
he's
in the
explaining
day.
in retrospect.
Yeah, in retrospect, exactly. So then he was just saying like, this is where my head was. I was trying to like meet up with him. He's like, I hit up managers, I hit up his camp, and like, you know, they have mutual friends and shit, but that nothing ever came about it. And
He's a battle rapper. He's gonna talk his shit. That's his craft, right? So when people take it personally, that's kind of weird. Especially because Nick Cannon, he raps too and he does battles.
well,
Yeah,
it's
but-
because for Nick Cannon, he was like, well, I gotta show my wife I'm a man, so I
Yeah.
gotta stand up for her and I gotta stand up for myself. And then T.I. was saying, he was like, well, Nick, you were kind of like collateral damage there, because he was trying to attack Mariah because like they had a thing. But then Nick is like, sure, but if that's my wife,
I still got to do. I still got like
Yeah.
when Drake and Pusha started beefing. I don't know if you remember. I think that was last year. They started beefing, and Drake said, "I'll make them things ring on you like Virginia something, whatever his last name is." He was talking about because Pusha had just got married to a young lady named Virginia, whatever that last name is. And so once you bring someone's wife into it, it's like all gloves are off, right? And so the next song
Was when he came out with
to that. He came at like your dad wears Steve Harvey suits, your mama ain't never find love, your best friend is a time bomb waiting to die. He looks sick. How much time that boy got left? Tick, tick, tick. Like everything he said. And then he said, you have a son that you've been hiding from the world. Let that boy come home, right?
yeah, he
and
was the
love
one
that woman
said
because she
that.
was like a video vixen type chick.
Yeah.
So Drake had a whole line with Adidas he was supposed to be launching with the coming out of his son, but when Pusha put that on top, ruined everything. Like, he was like, once you mention my wife, all gloves are off. It don't matter, we both rappers.
But it's the same playing field, right? It's rap to rap. So that makes sense. Versus somebody wanting to take it to
But-
fists or whatever.
It true, but I'm sure if after he dropped that record, I'm sure if Drake and Pusha had been in the same place together like a day later, I'm sure it would have possibly came to blows. I'm sure camps would have had to be like, oh no, chill
Especially
out.
if he lost his
Because
Adidas.
I'm like, it's not just like you're not attacking my credibility as a rapper. You're not saying, he wasn't saying like you had somebody writing your raps for you. Like you coming at my family. You were trying to attack my integrity as a man. So now you got to see me. So.
But was he really talking about his wife, or was that
It was just a double entendre that he did. It was just a good wordplay. He wasn't really saying, he's just like, I make a ring on you like Virginia. Like,
kind of like how Pac thought that Biggie shot him because he made that song "Who Shot You"?
well, yes, but that song was made after, Pac thought Biggie shot him because Biggie was at the studio. He showed up at the studio at that Pac got shot at.
And after that song came out, he thought that was for him.
Yeah, but I supposedly that song was already made.
It was already and it was like same thing, like it was an accident or whatever, or it could be.
to continue this beef. Then in December of 2019, so in this very same month, Eminem disses Nick Cannon on Fat Joe's new album. On the new album's called Family Ties, and in one of the songs, he ends up, it's called Lord Above. He ends up dissing Nick Cannon, and even Fat Joe, like he had made a statement about it, saying like, man, Eminem is on this new thing. Like he hasn't been this disrespectful in a long time. Like he was already prepping the masses for his verse, and so he ends up saying that Nick Cannon was still whipped by his ex-wife, and that he was inferior to him. And he ends up saying that he's like, almost got my
I think we're all inferior to Mariah. I saw her house. I saw how she lives.
No, that Nick Cannon was inferior to Eminem.
Oh.
Yeah. So then he ends up saying, almost got my caboose kicked. Fool, quit. You ain't gonna do shit. I let her chop my balls off. 2 for I lost to you, Nick. So he was saying that he ended up getting that pussy got him neutered. Try to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped.
Ooh.
So good, dude.
So is he trying to? That's almost seems like he's offering an olive branch though. Like, hey, we were both victims of this crazy bitch.
It does. I know, right?
That's what it sounds
It's
like.
almost like, hey, I tried to warn you, but you didn't fucking listen.
I mean, at that point, it was too late anyway.
But then Nick comes back with 2 diss tracks. And one is called The Invitation and the other one's called Pray for Him. And like, for example, on one of them he says...
People don't understand that the pray for him is actually for him. For Nick.
It's for himself.
Yeah.
Please pray for me after I did this.
Guys.
No, so in The Invitation he said, so Suge Knight is calling Eminem a bitch. And then he ends up...
Suge Knight, where the fuck did that come
From jail?
Got
From
audio
jail.
from jail.
He got audio
Suge
from
Knight.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's
he got
probably
audio
from
from
jail
jail.
calling
Wow.
in.
And then he ends up saying, call Kim, somebody get Haley, and this is Nick Cannon. Call Kim, somebody get Haley, and that other kid you raising that ain't even your baby. Because he has 2 other daughters that he adopted, Eminem adopted. And then he says, my baby mama killed you off a decade ago, you're still crying about it, bitch, now who really the hoe? And then Eminem comes back on Twitter and says,
Damn.
because in The Invitation,
Where's Mariah at in all of this?
he refers to...
Collecting checks.
He refers
Singing holiday tunes.
I know. It's
Well, isn't she like remarried or something?
holiday
Oh, is she? She
concert.
probably is. She's probably over all that.
Living in her castle.
Yeah,
She lives in
exactly.
an actual princess's like
Oh my
fucking
God.
castle. It's fucking tight.
Making the best
I
Christmas
gotta
songs
watch
in the
that.
world.
So then he ends up, so then Nick Cannon also brings up this allegation that M's chauffeur saw Eminem engage in a sexual activity with another man. And then Eminem ends up tweeting, you mad bro? Stop lying on my dick. I never even had a chauffeur. You bougie as fuck. He's like,
That's my boyfriend, not my chauffeur.
Get it right.
no, and then he's like, I demand an apology, Nicholas. You've made my gardener so jealous.
It was hilarious. I do feel like this beef is like, it is ongoing for no reason at all. Like, if it was new claims or something like that, it'd be possibly interesting, but like,
Yeah.
look, he's a grown man.
They're both grown.
These are grown men. You know what I mean?
And that's an old picture of Eminem.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Nick and Mariah have been divorced for years now. Like, to bring it back up just seems pointless. And then for like Nick, like for you to make a diss record, people have to want to listen to a record, period. Like
50 Cent, he actually came out and was like, this shit was so bad, I should kick your ass. Telling Nick Cannon. Like, how could you even come up against Eminem? He's like, I've never seen anyone actually, you know, come up.
Is he trying to like sell something right now? Because usually that's what happens when you
Yeah.
do something like this. Like, does he have an album coming out?
the last season Wildin' Out. This is gonna be the last one he's hosting.
That's smart then.
There you
in
go.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So maybe, but no, it's not because like it's like,
Well,
like
does M have
you
anything
look
to prove?
corny doing this. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't.
People are gonna be like,
you
ooh.
live for it. They're like, yo, this nigga's cornball, bro. You can't go against Eminem. One,
But
You
when-
picked the
when
wrong
else-
guy. You picked the wrong guy to go
But
with.
I agree with that. But when else were we talking about Nick Cannon? When
weren't.
else was he even relevant?
Wildin' Out has made him
For
relevant.
me,
Yeah.
it hasn't reached me, but this reached me.
Okay.
And now I'm like, oh shit.
But are you
wait,
gonna watch
that's right.
Wildin' Out now?
I don't know. I might be
but
a
wait,
little.
this reached you by default of a job. It didn't reach you like organically.
Because it reached me too, but then it made me go, oh, Nick Cannon's cornier than ever. And I'm for sure not gonna watch Wildin' Out.
See?